What is going on, everybody? You're listening to Untitled Radio, episode 184. News Critical Failure. What's up? Hope you guys are all having a good week. Oh, yeah. That's Coleco music. I'd kind of forgot about that. Yeah. I kind of want to run that again just so I can hear it a little bit more. That's from, let's see. That was one of the albums that I got from the 8-Bit People's website when I first got into chiptunes. A long time ago, back when I first heard about Anamanaguchi and Null Sleep and all them, when I was still in college. It's like, I think I just started college at that time, and it was a good time. It was really cool. I was finding out about a lot of music in a very short period of time that I was going to carry with me for a very long period of time, which was cool. So, all right, guys, let's go ahead and kick things off with a track called Adrift. This is from chipmusic.org by an artist named Daitanishi. This came out on April 30th, so it's been out about a week and a half or so now. It's got a real raw LSDJ sound that was really popular around the time 8-Bit Collective was around. It's my favorite time in chiptunes. Now we see a lot more mixing and a lot more post-production. This is raw LSDJ, as it was in 2010. You're listening to Tiger Claw Radio, episode 184. Alright, so this is kind of a first for me. My VidMe channel is now officially getting better views than my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel, after opening in 2008, I released a video for Franchise Hockey Manager 3, and it's got, although not widely watched on either platform, doing better on VidMe. Just throwing that out there. All right, guys, if you're on your way to work, if you're on your way to school, keep going. Don't take a sick day. We'll get through it together. Let's shoot it over to the Vancast. It's the Vancast. Tuesday morning, 6:47. I'm driving to work. As the season moves on, the sun is up brightly on my morning drive now. I used to have that crack of dawn drive, which on paper sounds like a bad thing. And if you told me I was going to be driving to work at the crack of dawn in high school, I would not have looked forward to it. But now that I actually do it, I kind of like that. I kind of like that being out just before the day is up. But now it's actually very nice out. It rained all weekend, and Monday I think we had on and off. It was nice yesterday afternoon. But anyway, off to work now. I got to play some Dead or Alive 5 on the Xbox this morning. I've been giving my Xbox a little bit of a workout. That's a system that has not been used in quite a long time. Until these last couple of weeks, I started firing it up in the mornings. I can't even remember why I initially fired it up, but I got it turned on, played some DOA. It's a good game. It's a game I very much enjoy. I gotta say, something happened. I definitely lost my skill in that game. I was never awesome at it, but I used to be able to complete the game on hard, or very hard, or at least hard. And now I'm stepping through the normal mode, and it's really giving me a run for my money. So I'm thinking back on when I beat it before, and I have to wonder if I actually was good enough to beat it on hard, or if I just played each character 100 times until I beat him and was able to complete it that way. Regardless, still a game I enjoy, and I had a good morning playing it through. Let's see, what else have I been up to? I think if I were turning the car around and going back home right now, I'd look forward to playing Heroes of a Broken Land. That was my evening game last week. Very simplistic dungeon crawling. Feels a lot more like Eye of the Beholder than it does Wizardry, but it has that familiar look to it. But it has an overworld map, what's the name of that game? It's escaping me now. Like Ultima, there you go. Has an overworld map, and then you can find dungeons and go in the dungeon and whatnot. That's the way this game is, but everything's randomly generated. Great game to listen to, great game to play and listen to some music, and just chill out. I think my only complaint about Heroes of Broken Land is they added an auto map feature, which is cool for the dungeon, for any dungeon. I mean, and they're randomly generated and whatnot. So maps in dungeon crawlers, first-person dungeon crawlers, are typically like an item that you find, but this one just lets you have it from the get-go, which is pretty neat. The problem is there's a feature on the map where you can point to a spot on the map, and your character, it'll draw a path, and your character will go there, as long as you've been there before. So what ends up happening, and when I first figured that out, I thought, this is great. It's going to get me through the dungeon crawling, and I won't, have too difficult a time navigating the dungeon floor. But as I played, what I found was I was using the quick move feature on the map more than I was just walking around in the dungeon. The only time I'd ever walk, first person typically, is if I was venturing into new territory, because new territory isn't on the map, hence you can't get around that way. Oh boy, what's going on here? Looks like we got some kind of traffic jam. Maybe not. Just let it ride for a minute and see what's going on. Not that I have any other options. But that's been, without a ton of time gaming, that's the most recent things that have happened. I got the chance yesterday to play a few games. I've been back into Unreal Tournament. Darabka and I played Unreal Tournament at Kaiser as well. We had a three-way battle in Unreal Tournament just a few nights ago, and that gave me the Unreal Tournament bug, which has been great. And I got to play it again yesterday. I want to add some more mods to Unreal Tournament though, because that's a game that's like, I feel like whatever the cultural repository was for mods is now gone from the internet. So now, to get mods, you have to really, really scrape for them. Either that, or there's a site somewhere I don't know about that has all kinds of stuff. I think the biggest example is mutators. Mutators used to be, back in the early 2000s when I was playing the game, I would install mutators, but a lot, because they were easy to install. And I don't have any. I have not found any yet. My favorite mutator was the decals stay mutator. Typically when you play Unreal Tournament, when you shoot like a rocket, it'll make a blast mark on the wall, and that decal will stay for a limited amount of time. Like there will be probably like 30 to 50 decals on the map at any given time, and as new ones come in, the oldest ones get peeled up, and then that's how it works. Well, this is a little mod, a little mutator that makes it so that when decals get laid down on the map, they never get peeled up ever. The blood spatters, the bullet holes, all that stuff, it stays. So what I would do, and this was like 15 years ago or more even, I'd initiate this mutator, and I'd start a match in deck 16, specifically deck 16, because it had it had a lot of smooth walls and long, well-lit corridors where this would really shine, and I would make a seemingly never-ending match. And before long, all of the walls and ceilings and stuff would just be black and red with blood and blast marks. I liked it. I would like to get the decals stay mutator back again, but I do not have it. I got a few like really, really cheesy skins, but I don't know. Still working on it. Unreal Tournament's a good game, and it's a game I can make a video on, in a very limited amount of time. So I revisited it, and I shot another quick video that should be up probably sometime this week. By the time you're listening to this, it's probably out already. So we'll see. I also did a little bit with Quake 3 Arena, just on the subject of those old arena games. I think Quake 3 Arena is more interesting for me to play right now because I didn't play it as much back then. So, in the community guides in Steam for Quake 3, there was a guide to install a mod pack that changed the single-player campaign. And what it did was it changed it to the Dreamcast version. So I installed that, and I was kicking around with it a bit. Now, I couldn't tell you how exactly the Dreamcast version differed. I mean, I think it's subtle differences. But the Dreamcast version had a different first level, that's for sure. So that's neat. I'll probably play through that a little bit at a time. And then we'll see. I think that'd be an interesting video to make. Except, I need to know more about the changes other than, the first level is different. Apart from that, I also want to add Unreal Tournament to my list of games beaten. I've never beat the single-player campaign, so I reopened that and I played a few single-player matches. Man, I had a lot of fun with those old FPSs. That's like my bread and butter, man. Those are like the key games for me, the chosen games, and I have very much enjoyed them. Let's see, and I guess that's been it. It's been a good couple of days. I'm feeling good. I'm ready to go in and put a full day in at work. Hopefully I'll be able to come home and play some Heroes of a Broken Land and play some records. I bought a record from the Evaporators, which is a punk band from Vancouver, British Columbia, that I enjoy. That probably won't be here for another couple days, so we'll see. All right. So I guess we'll call that it. That's it for the Vancast, guys. I'm going to shoot it back to Panzer Studios. I hope you're having a good day. As soon as I can figure out how to... You guys are listening to Tiger Claw Radio, episode 184. Head over to Patreon and check it out. The patrons are getting the episodes just a couple days earlier. And they are Hemrock, James, and Sendu. Thank you guys for contributing and keeping the lights on. So I've been playing with this concept of live calling Street Fighter V, and I think it went, I don't know how well it went last week, but we're going to give it one more try. However, before we get into that, let's take a look at the other chiptune you might remember from Hemrock's email last week. He gave us 2 chiptunes, and we played one, leaving the other one unplayed. We're going to check it out now. This is called Kind, Gentle, Beautiful Person by Origami Repetica. And this is found on the Free Music Archive, freemusicarchive.org. Let's see. I want to get exactly down as what the licensing is. Yeah, it's Creative Commons. Creative Commons licensing for this track. So head over to freemusic.org, look up Kind, Gentle, Beautiful Person. You can get yourself a copy of the MP3. Leave a comment saying Tiger Claw Radio sent you. try this one more time. We did this last week. This is CF loses at Street Fighter V. I'm finding it increasingly difficult. I'm not that great at this game anyway, and it makes it a little harder to try and call it while you're playing it, but we'll give it a shot. When I did this last week, I did lose really badly, but that led into having fun with Street Fighter V for the rest of the week. So rekindling, it was a catalyst that rekindled the game. So anything that can give me more opportunity to actually play is something I thoroughly, thoroughly appreciate. So I got warmed up. I'm now playing ranked matches, because the matchups in ranked matches are a little bit better than they are in casual. I mean, it seems like they do a little bit better job of putting me with people who are my skill level. So I'm not winning every game, but it's closer to even. All right, another match is coming my way. It is now loading. I'm anxious to see who it's going to put me against. I just got finished. Oh, Zangief. I'm using Armika. We're playing Zangief. 941 leader points against my 307. He is also a PC player, which is kind of nice. For some reason, I enjoy playing against the PC players. All right. Here's the rival matchup. Let's do this. Round 1. We're going to go defensive start this time. So is he. All right. Well, I'll lead in with a strong flying peach. I connected. Got him in the air as well. And then a medium flying peach. He's down by about a quarter, and I'm untouched at this point. Oh, blocked, and now he got the heavy punch at me. All right, here's the V trigger. See if I can break his momentum. There we go. We're both down by about 50%. Oh, he's got me in an EX move. Some sort of slam. Mid-air body slam. It's not looking good for me. KO. All right. So he won the first one. Zangief won. Armika nothing. All right. What a rage machine. Okay. We both double mid-air start. I got the first hit. Crush counter. He's down. He's certainly... Oh my gosh. And it's taking every bit of restraint to not put my controller through my monitor. Great, I got him in my special throw move, the Mika's flying thing that they ended up censoring I assume in both versions. His EX move totally blocked. Sweet. We're both tied at about a quarter health left. He's keeping his distance now. All right, there's my V trigger. Is blocked, but that was the opening I needed to get in. Throw in a couple of light punches and take him down. That's a KO. So it's 1-1. This one goes to Armika. We're going to go for the tiebreaker. This is a Bronze League fighter, and I'm still in the Rookie League. So, big shame on him if he loses this one. We met in the air in the opening. I got off the jump kick. Oh, he's got me in a body slam now. All right, we've both lost about an eighth. Still early on. I'm working the mobility. Here's the special move, but he whiffs it. Yes. All right. I'm actually doing well now. I don't want to jinx it. Now he's got me. He's got about an eighth left, and I'm at half power. Got him in the flying peach. Yes. Medium strength flying peach did the last little bit of damage, and that was enough to take him out. So I won 2-1. I won a ranked match. Yes, this can be done. All right, and I think I'm going to call that a segment right there. Failed to retrieve data. What does that mean? All right, now I'm getting pissed because I just won that match, but I did not get any leader points for it. What was that all about? Failed to retrieve data. I don't know, man. Alright. That's going to be it for losing at Street Fighter V. And I guess I won this week. That win, like most of the wins I experienced with that game, comes after a long well, not a long string, but a certain string of failures. So it always feels good. What's been ending up happening lately is I'll lose a few times in a row, and then I'll get one good win, or maybe two good wins after a string of like 3 or 4 losses. And even though that's a losing record, that's still like enough to keep it fun. So I'm still enjoying myself, and that's really where it's at, guys. So let's talk about this. I want to lead right into the next thing that I just discovered on Steam before we move on to the fail bag or into the chiptune or anything else. There is a publisher on Steam that most of us who listen to this show are familiar with called Night Dive Studios, and Night Dive is famous for taking old games, acquiring the rights to them somehow, and selling them on Steam. Now, specifically, we know them for bad porting games. Just, I don't know how else to describe it. They're not making sure they work. They're just kind of taking them and plopping them down. You know, you have a Night Dive game when you go to the store page, and there's a trailer that always starts with that like octopus in a diver's helmet underwater kind of thing. So Night Dive has been around for a bit now, and they sell old games on Steam. Now, if I look them up as let's see, if I'm looking them up as a publisher, they've got a pretty big catalog. Just to name a couple. With the Wizardry 6 is here, and 7, and we got Darklands, Sword of the Samurai, System Shock 2, the original System Shock, Harvester, several games in this list that I've enjoyed. Okay, now I came across a Steam page for a reboot of System Shock. Okay, to be released in 2018. Now, I don't know anything about this game, but it does apparently have a Kickstarter. Yeah, so did it already have a successful Kickstarter, or is it trying to kickstart now? Now let's see. Okay, here's the thing I wanted to get at. All right. Yeah, it's successful. $1.3 million pledged of a $900,000 goal. So this is going to happen. Now, interestingly enough, this game is published by Night Dive. It is also developed by Night Dive. And when I click on Night Dive as a developer, it's listed as Turok 2, but they didn't develop Turok 2. That's silly. It's Iguana Entertainment - Night Dive Studios. I think they just got listed as the developer on that one somehow for developing like an HD mode or something like that. But that's it. System Shock is getting rebooted and Night Dive is doing it. All right, guys, it's Friday night. I'm getting ready to move things over to the fail bag. Read some comments and let's see what you guys are thinking. Before we do that, though, I saw on my phone when I was looking forward to game time the Steam sales, the summer sales. I think the summer sale date has been leaked. And although I don't know the date off the top of my head, I'm going to look it up right now because I can Google things and you can listen to it, and that's the entertainment. But I do, I am pretty sure that we do have a date for the summer sales, and I think it's a month away or so. Bear with me. Yeah, Steam Summer Sale 2017 dates leaked. Begins June 22nd. So, all right, boys and girls, start saving your pennies because there's going to be a lot of good deals right around that time. Okay, speaking of deals, as for right now, this weekend, or I guess a couple of days ago if you're listening to this on Monday, there is trucking simulator deals, and I love me some trucking simulation. So bear with me while I get exactly what those details are, because I saw this on my phone, and I just flipped. I was like, yay! I can pretend I'm driving. Euro Truck Simulator 2 is $4.99, which is a game I've been putting off for quite some time. An American Truck Simulator is $9.99. Now, if you're not familiar with the significance of these games, one concept that I'm interested in, that I very much hold an interest in, is something that people call comfy games, the good old-fashioned comfy gaming, which is a concept that's been around since the very, very beginning, but now it has a name. So what is your comfy game? For me, I think I went through a phase where my comfy game was Euro Truck Simulator, and that I took on a recommendation from a great many comfy game threads. I think before that it was Morrowind, because all those Elder Scroll games, I mean, they have they have an environment that really lends itself to that. The rain starts coming down. The music hits. You start walking around town talking to people. It strikes a certain vibe that you can't beat. And I think before that, I can't remember what game I played to chill out before that. Probably Sims 3, and then before that it was Minecraft. So I put Euro Truck Simulator aside for a while. And now the second one is on sale, which I've been putting off buying. And I'm going to get it now, this weekend. I'm looking at the screenshots right now. All right, guys, that's the end of the podcast. I want to go get this done. Okay. Before I do that, though, let's head back to chipmusic.org. It looks like at least one new track. Looks maybe two new have come out since the beginning of the week. Let's see if we can find something that'd be good to listen to. You're listening to Tiger Claw Radio. All right, I've got a winner. This song is called Cloud Strife, and this was uploaded about a month ago on April 20th, but it is showing up on the front page of chipmusic.org now. It is Creative Commons licensing. You can go get yourself a copy, and the description reads, I wrote as a song I wrote for my old band TASDRR before I left. Download the whole album free here. So if you head over to chipmusic.org, there is a link to this Bandcamp page for Nintendo, and I went and got myself a copy of the album, which is the album is called Nintendo 16, because everything has to have the word Nintendo in it somehow, otherwise it's not related to video games. However, there is some competent heavy metal guitar. Mixed with some good chip music. It's a pretty good track. I think you'll like it.
It's the Fail Bag. It's fantastic form of entertainment where I read your questions, comments, anything you want read on the air. Just leave a question or comment at thenextround.net or head over to YouTube. You can post something right there where wherever the show is. Somewhere there's going to be a comments box. You can leave it there throughout the week. I'll see it. I record this part on Friday so that the podcast has been able to sit all week. Anything you want to throw my way, I'll round it up. Let's see what we got. So we got Death Adder says something. We got something from Swingle. Gaming Beast has some comments, and we got another lightning round from Dumaze. I feel like there was more. Wait, this is 182. No, this is a week old. No. Nope, I'm not doing the segment over again. I'm just gonna find it. Why would I waste time editing it? Okay, here we go. This is the actual one I should be looking at. Comments awaiting approval. Those are my favorite. Okay, so one from Death Adder, a couple from Saga, and Dumaze left a couple. But what's awaiting approval? Those are my favorite. Dumaze, buddy, you got flagged. For it says it's likely spam. This is the one that they say is likely spam. Dude, you got to see this. I thought of a funny way to defeat people in Street Fighter 4 in 30 seconds, and it pisses them off. Watch how I do it in these two videos, 30 seconds each. I got people messaging me, calling me bad words and stuff after this. The trick is that they accept the match before they see how I set up the parameters. 1 round, 30 seconds, max damage. Check it. You're going to laugh. Just damage the guy. Then waste time invincible teleporting until the time runs out. All right. I'll approve the comment. I hope you get lots of likes, lots of clicks into your video from my 30 viewers. Best of luck, my man. I wish video responses were still a thing, because I would accept your video responses every week. Yeah, Street Fighter 4 was broken in my opinion. I couldn't get into that game at all. I'm going to go ahead and throw the possibility out there that I was just not able to get good, as it were. It's to my understanding that there's no Street Fighter 4 episode of The Art of Getting Good. So I therefore have no tools to study by. But that, as it stands, is the case. All right, now let's back out from the spam folder. Let's see what we got. Now this is from Saga. He writes, the long and short of the Smash Evo thing. Melee and Brawl both used to be at Evolution at various points. They were dropped due to Melee being a pain to set up. Melee players use CRT TVs. And players moving on to Brawl. Then Brawl turned out to be a pretty poor competitive game. Evolution 2013 had a charity fan vote to add a game to the lineup. Melee won that. Nintendo sent a cease and desist. Fan outcry eventually put a stop to the cease and desist. Due to the fan outcry, Nintendo supported/sponsored Evo going forward. That led to Smash Wii U being added to the lineup. It's been both Melee and Wii U at every EU since, with Melee getting the Sunday spot and Wii U getting the Saturday spot. This mainly has to do with Melee being perceived as better to watch. And Sunday is the more important day of the two. Finals day, more views, etc. This year, 2017, Smash Wii U got the Sunday spot. Melee has the Saturday spot. I don't know the exact reasons. I think it has to do with the way the Melee fans tend to act at various events, booing other games, being belligerent to staff, and other such nonsense. But again, I'm not 100% sure. This has led to a tizzy, as you would expect from Nintendo fans. That's it. Correct me if I'm wrong about any of this. Yeah, I don't think I've ever watched an Evo. I only watched a little bit of highlights after it has come and gone. Nintendo, man. Did Nintendo really send a cease and desist order to Evolution to one of their games showing up at a big mainstream tournament? Man. All right, this is the part where I tell you something you already know. I have the feeling that Nintendo supports you going to the store and buying their game and bringing it home and playing it, and they support that. However, they support absolutely zero of this culture that has been built around video games. Despite the fact that some of the Nintendo characters are the most iconic characters in modern video games, it seems like their knee-jerk reaction is not to support any sort of culture around gaming. It took a fan outcry to turn over a cease and desist. I'm honestly shocked that they were able to pull it, because it seems like with Nintendo's track record, what do they listen to fan outcry? They don't strike me as a company that's going to listen too closely to fan outcry. But thanks for the clarification. It seems like, all right, I know you like fighting games too, but I'm going to take a shot at people who like fighting games, so bear with me. It seems like people are always crying about EVO every year, so I don't tend to pay it much attention. I just happened to be on while people were boo-hooing about EVO just a little bit, and I picked up on it. Thanks for clearing it up. So let's move on to Saga's second comment. He writes, and the upcoming at-games Sega P&P will be garbage. It's the same crap they've sold in the past, poor sound emulation and all that. Might be cool to people that don't care about that sort of stuff, but even when you get past the previous iterations, it's the same plug-and-play hardware for cheaper. Yeah, I mean, it's got a cartridge slot, right? They already put one out with a cartridge slot. I mean, I don't know. Okay, well, here's a question. Let me throw this out there, because what he's talking about is, specifically with the sound emulation, is I have a feeling that let me put it this way, Saga, I have a feeling that you have more of a prejudice towards Sega sound emulation, because it was legitimately bad. It was legitimately bad 15 years ago. All right? When they were putting out Sega collections on the PS2, yeah, they were bad. You told me they were bad, and I looked them up on YouTube, and I watched some of the errors, or some of the ways the sound was reproduced, and I agree they were bad. But are they really still bad? I mean, if you go buy like a Sega Genesis collection now, are there going to be major sound issues? And I have to ask, because not being a Sega fan as a child, I probably wouldn't be able to pick them out if they were. I mean, I've got a legit Sega Genesis now, but I got to be honest. When I play Sega, more often than not, it just ends up being on my Steam collection. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. It still looks better than the Nintendo thing. So, I give them that. Then we move on to Death Adder, who writes, Gianna Sisters, Twisted Dreams is the one I've played up until the podcast. I had no idea there were any other ones. Bully is a lot of fun. I had a little exposure to the game back in the day, but I didn't sink my teeth into it until recently. The small cast of characters, the missions, and even the music that plays in the background are all very charming. Question: what games do you have on the Xbox 360? 3PUI. And was there ever a brief moment during your 360 ownership where you were like, yeah, 360 is my jam, dude? Or even the PS3 for that matter. Oh, yeah, there was. When I first got it, and I was first looking at like the Xbox indie games and the Xbox arcade, and that was really like my first my first look at an online gaming marketplace that was not Steam. And I was digging the idea, and I bought some games for... No, that's not true, because I guess my first online marketplace from a console would be the Wii. But I always felt like the Wii was too tight-fisted with their sales, especially having tasted Steam. I knew that the Wii could have been much more consumer-friendly. And the Xbox, the fact that they had inexpensive games... I mean, the Xbox Live indie games, even though most of them were not great, I mean, most of them were unplayable. Those games were $1, $2, $3. That's it. The most expensive Xbox Live indie game was cheaper than an NES ROM on the Wii. And that's the way I looked at it. So at that time, yeah, I was digging the 360, man. Didn't last long. The first time I wanted to play something online, and I was like, wait. I'll tell you another time I dug it. My friend, I had a friend who, I don't know if he wants me to say his real name on the air, so we're going to call him Gary. My friend Gary had an Xbox 360, and that was the only kind of game he could play. Now, Gary had severe carpal tunnel in his wrists, so he couldn't play on a PC. He was very PC savvy, but he just couldn't do it. So we played on the Xbox, so that we could play together. And doing that, we played all the way through Resident Evil 5 on the Xbox 360. And we also played, what else did we play? played a couple other games. That one's the one that sticks out the most, but I know it wasn't the only one. We played some Gears of War 2. The other games we played are escaping me now, but those were the big. Playing through Resident Evil 5 was probably what I enjoyed the most. During that time, I was all about it, man. That was around, and then around that time when Minecraft first launched as an Xbox game. I remember that. I was up with Jerry Terrifying like 2 nights after it came out. We were like, dude, we got to get the footage. We got to get legit Xbox footage up on YouTube. We got to get it up right away because it's still fresh. It's still new. And I recorded some really bizarre footage farting around in Jerry's world, and I think I still have that sitting somewhere because I never figured out a way to turn that into something watchable. But yeah, I was digging Xbox at that time. As for PS3, I dug the PS3 as well, but I probably don't have as many real memories messing with the PS3, because the thing was, at that point, the Xbox already kind of started to take a dive, so I was able to get... I'm looking over my Xbox collection on the shelf. I was able to get some games for cheap that I like. Especially a lot of like old... well, I guess you could say they're old now. First-person shooters like Perfect Dark Zero, which I had a little fun with. Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter. I mean, these games were like $2 and $3 or something like that. So, as for PS3, probably the most fun I had on the PS3 was playing through Saints. I think that's where I played through Saints Row 2 for the first time. Saints Row 2, and I think Saints Row 3 I played through on the 360. I can't remember. It's a good system though. Oh, you know what I did on the PS3? The PS3 was where I played through most of Chrono Trigger. I got the PS1 version of Chrono Trigger from the online store, and I played that a good bit, and I really enjoyed it. But yeah, I don't know what it is with the consoles, man. I go through little phases, right, where I dig into them, but they come and go. I don't know. Maybe it's with the kids now. I can't really turn on a video game in the middle of the living room when we're trying to settle down for dinner. It just doesn't really work that way. But you know. Oh, you know what I did on the PS4? That's when I got into Street Fighter 4. That was probably the biggest, even though it didn't last long because I wasn't any good at it. That was probably the title that I was most excited for on the PS3. Good times. That makes me want to fire up the PS3 again. I haven't played that in a while. And then we've got 3 comments from Dumays that were not flagged. So let's see. He says, okay, the top one is the one that was flagged for spam, which I have accepted. So go see the comments for last week's episode. You can see his video that he talks about. Then we've got, or maybe try this, install FreeDOS. Okay, so he has a couple about FreeDOS. All right, it says, couldn't you install FreeDOS onto a USB stick and then let Grub scan it, add it to its bootloader? Or maybe try this. Install FreeDOS into a fresh drive, only one drive plugged in, then put your main drive alongside it, telling it to boot to the Grub loader, and set up Grub to be able to choose FreeDOS and boot from there. Okay, I don't think FreeDOS is as smart or as sophisticated as you're giving it credit for. I'm sorry, not FreeDOS. I don't think Grub loader is smart or as sophisticated as you're giving it credit for. I have Grub loader set up now, but all it does is... it has, well, first of all, I have it because when I set up Linux Mint set it up automatically. So I don't really understand the command prompt that powers it, because I can add a new option on Grub loader, but all it does is it gives me a command line. It's like, all right, every time you select this, it's going to run this command. So make sure you get it right. As for FreeDOS, the FreeDOS installer is also incredibly simplistic, just because it's supposed to be like DOS. It's designed to be that way. I'm telling you, there's a way to do it, but I just got to Google it and figure it out, and I have not had the time to dig into something like that, because when I have time to play, I go play. Especially lately, especially since I've been on this Street Fighter kick. Street Fighter 5 has been a lot of fun. If I wasn't recording tonight, that's probably what I'd go play. And that's it. Those are all the comments we got from last week. So that's Tiger Club Radio episode 184, guys. This is where I set aside some time to just remind you, whatever it is that you're doing, wherever it is that you're coming from in your life, I'm glad you decided to spend an hour hanging out with me talking about some games. It's Monday. Make it a good day. A lot of people don't like Mondays. Hopefully that we made ours a little bit better. I'm rooting for you. Keep at it. Don't give up. I'll see you guys next week.